And welcome back, everybody, to the second episode of Common Sense and the Devil's Advocate. I am sitting here with my sexy co host, Michael. And Michael, how are we today?
Fabulous. Drinking some rum.
Excellent.
I'm hanging with you. We're all good.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. So, Michael, we're going to have a little more of a intriguing topic that we're going to discuss tonight compared to last week's kind of cheesy little bullshit intro topic. Okay, so we're gonna get into a little bit more this week, and then we'll get a little more lighthearted next week. And so, Michael, tonight's topic comes to us from a story. This is a story that a good friend of mine told me a few weeks ago, and I always found it to be intriguing in a way that I went different ways about this story in my mind. And I thought this would be a great topic of discussion because you can really split it down the center in multiple different ways and really, really get into both sides of this coin. So I think it's going to make it a little more fun. So here's the story. At some point in time in the near past, there was an ICE raid that was happening out in the good state of California. So, what I was told about this particular incident is this raid took place at well known large business clothing manufacturer. Okay. When they were there, one of the people that they detained and subsequently deported in the end was a lady who had been working at this factory for, are you ready for this shit? 30 years. Okay.
Wow.
So this is not some fly by the seat of your pants, just showed up, person that was looking to make a few bucks, send some money home and, cause havoc. So supposedly the other interesting thing about this is this lady had been working here for 30 years and she still had very limited broken English. Again, I do not know the full validity of this story, but for the topic of discussion, it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's really the topic we're talking about. We're using this story as kind of our
Setting.
yes, exactly, our launch for the platform. So supposedly, though, the only real words the ICE agents were able to get out of this lady was him and hers. Apparently, she made T-shirts. Okay, all right. So that's the background story. Don't need to go too deep into it. That gives us more than enough stuff to look at. So what we're going to be discussing here is pros and cons of this lady getting deported. All right. I'm going to leave it wide open there. Not going to go too crazy into it because why the fuck would we do that? That's what our job is to do here. So, Michael, I am going to flick our little bean of
Ooh.
spinning happiness.
Tickle
And
me.
what this is going to do, for those of you out there, is going to tell us which one of us is going to go on the pro side of this topic and which one is going on the con side of this topic. All
Bring it on.
right. Here we go, Michael. And
Flick my
my
bean.
goodness. All right. It lands on son of a bitch. You see that?
I get pro? I
You
get
get
to pick.
you get to pick whatever side of the topic that you want to discuss. So that's winner chicken dinner for you, baby. So you got to decide which way do you want to debate this topic. What do you think, Mike? Should she have been here? Should she get out? Should she have learn more English? Should she have worn Nikes instead of Adidas? What do we think? What are we thinking? Come on, come on. What are we thinking, Mike? Because I can't go nowhere
I
without you.
am I think I'm gonna go against her being deported.
Okay. So now let's talk about why you think she should have not been deported and just kind of give me the assessment of your situation based on how you feel with, how this current realm of immigration handling is happening. All right. Go
All
for it.
right. So 30 years, same company, doesn't know a lick of English. But his and hers, the problem there is the 30 years. 30 years she's been a viable member of society, her community. I mean, we don't know the ins and outs of this lady, but she's obviously paying taxes through her payroll plus her living expenses. So it's not like she hasn't been contributing to her day to day. And the whole idea of uprooting somebody, regardless of time, but you would think a 30-year stint would definitely play a factor in that, of maybe getting that little gray area and thinking maybe we should think a little bit more inside the box and outside the box to see how we can streamline our process to maybe make her a little bit more stable as far as citizenship.
Oh, true, true. 30 years, you have some roots from that one, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, 30 years at a company. I've been at my company for almost 30 years. And so yeah, that's it becomes like your world. So unless you just want to be a cold heartless bastard and uproot somebody after they've stabilized themselves for 30 years, family, friends, community, they probably have a favorite church they go to, they have their favorite restaurant, all that other stuff. But in the eyes of the law, yeah, they don't give a shit. So yeah, I would have to say that I am against uprooting anybody that has at least some kind of stable position in our society here in the United States than just lifting them up and tossing them to the wolves. What say you?
Well, Mike, I see what you're saying. But listen, 30 years, she couldn't have gotten a green card. She couldn't have gotten her citizenship. She couldn't learn some English. I mean, you're assuming she's paying, but you said you're assuming she's paying taxes. I'm going to assume she's just living on the tit of the government because if they deport you, they got to have a reason, right? We don't just go around deporting good people. We only deport the people that are killers. Hey, my turn. We would deport the killers, the ones that don't follow the law. So I would be under the assumption that there was no reason that she should have been here. They went in there and I mean, if she got family, they best go find that family because they probably shouldn't be there either, right? I mean, come on. You can't learn language in 30 years. Just I get it. English is the most complex language out there, they say, because we have so many idiotic rules built into the way that you can use our grammar and everything in our, wonderful language. Come on. Again, 30 years. Yeah, you got a lot of stability, but I'm saying there's got to be more to it. If you've kept a job that long and they didn't come looking for you ahead of time, must be paying under the table, right? You must be hiding something. Why? Again, why have you been here hiding out for 30 years and you haven't become a citizen? That would be the biggest question that I would have as to pack it up, pack it in, get it out. You shouldn't be here. You didn't try. You didn't try hard enough to become an American citizen. So don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you, assuming you believe that shit. All right.
So,
So that's if we're gonna break it down straight up, that's what I'm gonna say. Okay.
okay.
So quick pro and con we had going on there. Let's open it up to anything we're both missing on both sides because I
All
think there's
right.
plenty that we can talk about.
So as far as the no citizenship, you'd have to actually dive in deep to actually figure out things like was she being paid under the table, like you had mentioned? If so, how much was she being paid underneath the table? And as far as that goes, was it a substantial enough income to be able to provide for her to follow the routine to get her citizenship? And would that have afforded her to be able, I mean, I understand that you can immerse yourself into a culture and you can learn the language if you really try hard. I mean, people watch TV with subtitles to figure stuff out over time. And 30 years is a
Yep,
long
yep, yep.
time. And I'd have
True.
to agree with that after 30 years, either there's something not right upstairs or you just don't give a shit about wanting to totally assimilate into the culture you're living.
Right,
That
right.
said, I would have to try and go with the point of is her not gaining her citizenship and thriving towards learning the English language more her fault or the situation that unfortunately she's been put in, but that her employer has taken advantage of on the whole point
Hmm.
of am I paying you enough?
Yeah.
Which they're not. They're not.
But no one's
I have
paid that.
drivers
Never.
now that drivers are being exploited right now that are coming over from Ukraine and Serbia and all this other stuff. They can
Mm.
all speak a lick English. They've only been here like a year or two, but unfortunately they are getting their CDLs, which I don't agree with. But yeah,
I just had an incident with that.
they walk in and they use their little translator on their phone to talk English to you. So hopefully they move forward to that. But yeah, you'd have to ask exactly what situation she was put in that she wasn't given the opportunity. And is our immigration system so fucked up that we can't give anybody an easy path to being the citizen they should be?
Or even want to be. It's the other question, right?
Right.
So let's dig into that for a second. So there's a couple issues that I personally have when it comes to a lot of topics that revolve around this. The first one that I have an issue with, right? Let's go with this being a 100% tried and true story. ICE rolls into business XYZ, right? It's Acme t-shirt business. Let's just say it's where she's working. They roll in there, bam, there's 20 of her. They're all working in there. They don't have green cards. They don't have, citizenship. They don't have X, Y, and Z. Round them up, take them south, and take them back to where they came from, right? Okay. So they went through that step. The first issue I have is while the lackeys are now taking them off to the centers to be processed and moved out of our country, why is there not a second set, or be it even a higher bureaucratic set of people standing behind them that are now combing through the files of this large business, wondering how they've been able to pay illegal people to work there for 30 plus years or even 30 plus minutes? All we do is go after the ant, right? Squash the little guy, get him out of here. Our problems are fucking solved because we don't care about the guy who has the deep pockets, who's got the money, who's exploiting these people, who is illegally employing them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not going to go deeper into politics on this, but it's very big. And this has been a problem in the US for shit now 100 years.
At least.
We exploit the middle income and lower, and we elevate everybody above that. This isn't even a loophole. Like, this isn't a tax loophole. This is literally companies breaking the law to save money, to happily hire people who are, the fucked up thing is they're happy to do this work. Spent 30 years there. She could have looked for something else. She could have been, making fucking tennis shoes. I don't know. But the thing is, obviously, they were treating her in a way. They did not say that she was, locked up in here. It wasn't, a sweat camp by any means. It was just a woman who'd worked there for 30 years. So she was there out of her own free will. The company was paying her illegally out of their own free will.
Mhm.
Let's say maybe the situation is she's just too fucking stupid to know what she has to do to become a citizen. But a company that can do multi-millions of dollars worth of sales and retail and hire all these people knows damn well what they're doing.
Huh? When they could
If
easily
their
afford
accountants,
somebody in HR that could slide in and be like, well, why don't we give these people a pathway?
why don't we sponsor these people?
Hmm.
So if you look it up, right, the big key things that you need to be a citizen, you have to be 18 years old. You have to hold a green card for at least 5 years or 3 years if you're married to a U.S. citizen. Okay. So the green card one, I've never looked into it personally. I've talked to many people. I know it's not a simple thing to do, but again, it is a defined process we've had. We should make it easier. A continuous residence. Okay, she obviously had that one. Residence to US for required time and be physically present in US for at least 6 months out of each 5 years. Well, okay, she had that one covered. So
Yeah, she
again, in
nailed
order
that
to
one.
even apply, in order to apply, you have to live here for a set amount of time on top of everything else. Now, here's the tough one, and this is one that does chat my ass a little bit when I see it all around. Be proficient in basic English and have knowledge of US history and government. If you want to stay here, you want to pay our taxes, you want to pay taxes, none of us do. But if you want to reap the benefits of the tax dollar that you're paying into, you need to learn and be part of our country, right? The other one is good moral character. Show good moral character and have an honest criminal record. I'm good with that. I totally
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we don't want the bad, but guess what? We already have a shit ton of bad in this country that's born and raised here. We have plenty of homegrown killers out there. So
Oh,
let's
yeah.
not even worry about that. Should we deport people that break the law and do all this stuff? You're damn right we should. Throw them in jail. And if you can do it on someone else's dime, even better. But most people that are here to better their lives, not to fuck up our country. They know if they get caught, they're going back to wherever they came from, which is the first place they don't want to be, right? So that's the first one that bugs me. The fact that the big companies get the buy every time. We want to go with the easy solution of just get rid of everybody. Well, there's a couple problems with that, right, Mike? One, we get rid of people, who's going to do the work? All right. Somebody wants to do this job and they don't want to do it for the pay that the illegal people are going to do it for because there's no tax implications. Once you add all that in, insurance, employer tax, health insurance, blah, 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 blah. Everything costs more money.
Disability.
Your $8 Walmart shirt is now $26. And it ain't even, and it's not any softer than it was 3 weeks earlier. We have that. Here's the other thing that we have, other than the fact that we're a country built on fucking immigrants. So don't even start that one. Come
Oh,
on.
yeah.
If we go back and kick out all immigrants, there's going to be, 6 Native Americans left, and that's it because everyone else has died off.
Yeah.
But, the other piece about that, right, is we also have this bull in a china shop called Social Security that's sitting back here. And, totally different topic to go into why it's got less money. And we're not going to go into any of that bullshit here because that's not what we're talking about now. But it's a big enough issue that it is based on money coming in and money going out. If you don't have enough money coming in to take care of the outflows, even if it's done as up and up as humanly possible, money's only going to the retired people. It's only coming in from who's working. At some point, you have to either have an equal amount coming in as going out, or you have to have an influx, right? More money going in than going out, or you end up where we're at right now.
Right, because floodgates are opening
So,
right now because all the boomers are starting to retire, and
it-
there's
yep,
more of them than there are of our X gens.
yes, correct. So, all right, so Mike, so what are the two options? Where is that? How do we get that money up? There's two ways to do it, right? Other than just robbing from them. Have make
Other
more
than take
babies.
well, make more babies, and you'd have to influx more pull from other programs. So you might
But
have
now
to
you're
take away
stealing
from the
money.
defense bill.
But you're stealing money that wasn't. But that's not Social Security money. So we can't use that money. No, we're only using SSIS money only. So you have more kids, and the problem is they're not even going to be paying into it for,
Eight.
if we're lucky, 15. Well, come on, well, 15. That's 15 years. Down in Florida, 13-year-olds work overnight now in gas stations.
Well, that's wonderful.
Shit you not. They don't want to have limits on it because that's what we need when a gas station fire breaks out. A 14-year-old that hasn't had a good heart on yet. Come on, be realistic here.
And that's
But so there's your
Deftones.
yes, exactly. So there's your options, right? Make more babies. Like, hey, Musk will even tell you that we don't have enough kids coming in to support this world as we're going because people are going to start dying off. But again, that is a future solution. Even if everybody started humping right now and started knocking out kids, they're not going to
Yeah.
be able to do anything to help for reasonably 18 years before they have consistent money putting into that.
And even then, you still have to
So
have them to procreate to then keep
it's got
that
to
up.
continue. Got to continue. It's a cycle. So your other option is, yeah, we take these. What do they say now? There's like, well, 100 million immigrants. I don't know what. How many we're deporting every day? I don't know what the numbers out there that they're spouting. But regardless, there's a big ass number. Let's just say it's 20 million because that's a fun number to throw out. It's real easy, and I know it's way, way, way bigger than that. Let's just say it's 20 million that they want to deport tomorrow. If you took that 20 million, you go through their criminal records, you say, okay, a percentage of these people are shit heels that no country wants. Send them home, put them in jail, do whatever. Now we're down to, we got 18 million people that want to be hardworking US citizens. And that's a small, we know that's a drop in the bucket as to what the truth is. That's a small, small number. It's nothing like that. But you give them, again, you set them on. Here is your path to stay here. Your clock just started. You had to hold a green card for 5 years. So, okay, your 5 year clock is starting right now. Here's your new social or your tax ID number. Where are you working? Where are you living? We are going to follow up on you. You want to create jobs? You want to gut the IRS and do whatever? Fine. All these ICE agents, they can do? They can be
Immigration agents.
immigration fucking babysitters. I don't really care. What are you going to do? You're going to look for the guy who breaks the law and wants to go leave. But your job is to keep them and get them to pay into the system so that you can actually retire someday. Come on, you got to follow the rules here. Take them off. We do that with everybody that wants to actually be here. They're already living somewhere. Let's have them get better jobs. Let's let them pay into the system. Oh, look, we have more tax money now to put toward all the shit that needs to be fixed in this country, all the things that we want to do. Social Security will get a big influx. You're going to have people bringing their kids. They're going to be making more kids. They're going to tell all their good people from the other countries, hey, I found a way to get here to do this. All you got to do is have a job, have a house, and, you know, and be a good moral human being. Is it really that difficult? And they make it sound like literally, there's just 600 miles of the Mexican border that's wide open and the floodgates are coming in. Come on.
Well,
It
well,
ain't
my
that
other
easy to get
question
over here.
my question is, are they just targeting illegals that are from the southern border? Or are they
That
doing
sure
it
seems that way,
globally?
doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Because
You never hear
our area has a huge population of Nepalese people. Huge. So much so they actually had a Nepalese festival at the Riverfront Square.
Was
And I
anybody
was
there
like,
looking to see who's a citizen?
no, there was no ICE agents there at all. And trust me, there was some questionable folk there. They definitely
There
weren't
have been.
citizens. And I
Yeah.
seriously doubt that they could barely speak a lick of English. All the elders, the younger kids were fine. They have assimilated just fine. They're in the culture. They're wearing their Jordans and they're having a great time here in the country. But their grandparents and some of their parents, yeah, they're dressed in full Nepalese regalia every day, walking down the street. It's like I'm like, you guys are brave. I say just come snack you up anytime. Eat you like a cracker.
I mean, they're going to schools, right? They're going to colleges. They're going. I mean, I'm in Florida. There was literally talk at one point where they were telling parents, "Hey, make sure your high school kids have documentation to prove they're a citizen." I mean, if you're not blonde hair, blue eyed, pale skin, you might have to worry about, where you go walking. Do you want to go on vacation? I mean, could you imagine that, if you're a Latino who's born and raised here, even a well off person that works their ass off, and has a great business here, decide to just go on vacation like Cancun and I mean, my palms will be sweaty just trying to get through immigration to come home. What if this guy decides he doesn't like the way I look for some reason? I mean, nobody should have to feel like that coming into America.
No,
There's
100%.
no this is we were founded on the basis that every person that wants to be here is fucking free to be, what you want to be. That's what we are. That's what makes us fucking different. That's what makes us better. I don't
I do have an interesting firecracker to throw into the fire.
please.
What if this purge, we'll just call it a purge, it turns out to be a good thing? Now, what I mean by that is this will reset everything. And I'm not saying the current administration will be able to do this
Well, nothing can happen
at
that fast,
all,
regardless. We
at
can't look
all.
at. I mean, nothing happens that fast, regardless.
Right, right. But if you purge everybody that have unfortunately taken advantage of the system or have not been able to find their way through the system to make it right,
Hmm.
and then you have workers or owners of businesses that have pretty much enslaved those people by paying them 10 cents on the dollar to pick strawberries or whatnot. This now will force them to go to the citizens of America. This will reset the pay scales for such jobs like that. It will reset what a strawberry bundle should cost. And maybe we've been getting a little too easy in America with our cost of living and stuff. Maybe we should be paying 8, 9, $10 for a little pitch of strawberries and blueberries. Maybe we should because those berries are so inexpensive and I can get 2 pints for $4.99.
Just
It's
buy it.
because somebody's only making 25 cents an hour. Well, not that's a little
Yeah,
extreme, but you know what I mean.
but yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. And that's not. I mean, hey, you could. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. But what if there's okay? But now, if we're gonna flip side that, what if it comes through? We have a nice. I hate to say the word clean because it just sounds racist and fucking wrong. But I mean, because we're purging, we'll just use the word clean, but not for any manner of the people that are being deported. I'd say anyone's dirty. But again, it's a clean slate. Let's go with that. All right. We have a clean slate of who is living and working in America. Well, okay. So there's going to be this mass of open jobs. Unemployment will be like negative 4,000 because there'll be more jobs than people to do the work. So what happens? That's where it becomes a problem. What happens when nobody wants to do that work, when they can't find anybody to do it, when the
Well, the
strawberry fields are when there's no one picking them and they're just running. What do we do? What do we do then? Is that good? Is that clean? See what
eventually
I'm saying is you gotta.
eventually those top quality jobs that aren't specialties, like my crew, we're not
Let's
a
do
bunch
it.
of brain scientists. We can only hire so many people. So eventually those
Hmm.
jobs, the top end jobs will run out. Now, even though there might be top high end turnover, like at say, a fast food restaurant, but
Yeah.
you'll still get that influx, but it would equalize the pay and stop this recycling of some kind of form of slavery we got going on, holding people to, like I said, 10 cents on a dollar getting paid because you don't have a green card.
Okay. So I'm not. I'm not good. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with any of that because it's just common sense. Hey, fuck
Yeah.
me. So here's another one though. If you go to another story, I remember watching a news article myself, and it was Middle America. It may have actually been West Virginia. Some lady was standing outside of an abandoned textile mill. I mean, she was saying how, and I said, literally, when I say abandoned, we're talking the windows broken out everywhere. And it looked like, World War II had happened in this factory. And she's standing there and she's like, I'm so glad that we're going through this deportation stuff. That used to be the biggest employer in our county, XYZ. Then they moved over to China or India or wherever to make these amazing fabrics that are used for your linens and your whatever, right? All this high end stuff. So they're gonna come back here and they're gonna make it in America now. That's so amazing. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, one, you ain't doing shit in that building. It's like ready to be demolished. So, A, if this company says we're gonna come back, we're gonna retrofit out in the middle of, Timbuktu, Iowa. We're going to rebuild this thing. We're going to re-employ people. They're going to drop millions of dollars to retrofit that building. Well, guess what? If they retrofit that building in 2025 plus, you know what they're going to put in there, Michael?
Automation
Yes, they're going to be robots out the wazoo. So
everywhere.
they are going to make those exact same textiles and they're going to hire 5 really smart engineers to keep everything running, a couple accountants, and a few maintenance people. But they're not going to re-employ 2,000 people to get all this done. They're going to make the same stuff. They're going to charge you more for it because it's going to have no flaws because it's going to be robots building it. And then you're going to go out to buy your napkin or your, table runner. And because it's not coming from India anymore, it's now going to cost 400% more than it was 3 years ago. And only a handful of people in your county got that job and no one can afford this shit. That's what the problem is. And it's going to go more and more every time. Anything they bring over here that's coming back, they're not going to bring it over and just say, let's manual labor all this like we did there. No, no, no. If they're going to build, they're going to build better. They're going to automate the shit out of
Oh
it.
yeah,
They're going to call up, they're going to be calling Musk going, I need your optimists. I need optimists all over the place.
all
Give
over
me
the place.
robots before they're ready to, to become alive and Skynet us.
Yeah, here is the addition to that. So we purge all of our good immigrants, our hardworking illegals. We give them back to the countries of which they came. We automate. We now just purged, we'll say 15 million good hard workers back to the countries of which they came. They still need jobs. So now you have the country of which they came are now going to exploit their very own people, maybe even in a worse way than we were doing here in the United States, therefore still being able to create the textile or the trinket or the cog far less than we can even with our automation. So then we fall back into reciprocated sling of, okay, we got to beat India's prices because we just sent back 10 million Indian residents, but now they're all working in the factories. They're making 100% less than what they were making before here in the United States, living shit lives in squalor because we sent them back. And now nobody wants to buy our 400 plus percentage textile because, yeah,
Or even
that
better
could
than
be a
that.
backfire.
What if some of those ones that were sending home, let's not even say that they were living in squalor, working shit jobs. And say they were an amazing scientist. They were a genius surgeon. Say they were on the brink of curing cancer, and we ship their ass back. And either A, all their research is gone, or all that knowledge is going over there, and now another country is going to have the keys to the kingdom, and we're going to just be sitting here begging to have access to some of it. You know what I mean? We gotta. It's not. You can't just. We're assuming based on what the media says is that the only people deporting are low life, useless, knuckle
That's what
dragging idiots.
And that's what
That's what they
both
want
sides
us
are
to
trying to
believe.
display. Yeah, they haven't really touched on
100%.
we haven't heard any of those stories, at least I haven't, where somebody of an elite status with a medical degree or anything has been tossed.
But they're trying
Doesn't
to
mean it's
stop
not happening.
but they're stop trying to stop them from coming over from like the high-end universities for a while. So it is a two-prong approach we have going on here too, right? They're trying to remove people that are already here, but they're also trying to turn the spigot
Recruit.
off so no more can get in. So, we need, you want the brightest and the best. Well, you got to let them come over. And there's only one way to find out if
Well,
they're the brightest or the best.
didn't the current administration actually try to put something in place? It was like an Einstein fast track or something like that for citizenship. That if you
That is,
had, I heard something about that. If
oh, that's
you
been
were
around.
an elite. Oh, I know, but making it even more other than the gold card that's being
Oh
offered.
no, no, no. You do know, so the whole Einstein thing is that's how our first lady got her citizenship.
Yes, I know.
She got an Einstein in Playboy.
She's a genius.
She got the Einstein in the pussy. But I'm not going there.
I
Okay,
mean,
let's not
yeah,
go
we're
there.
not going to
But
say she
regardless,
was a hooker, but
but again, I'm not. You know what? No, there's no reason to go there. Because here's the thing, Mike. Here's the thing. Why is she here? Because she wanted a better life. She came from somewhere that was not as good as America, and she came here for a better life. The way she
I don't.
found it, I don't really care.
Neither do I.
There was Melania before Trump. There was whoever. So forget the politics of it. She's just another person that came from another country here to have a better life. Our vice president's wife is from India, right? And her parents. I mean, there are so many out there that are high level that have spouses that are immigrants or parents that are immigrants. So it is kind of sad that, and again, we're talking both sides of the aisle. It is sad that we've been doing this for so long that, again, it's complain about the left hand and don't pretend what's sitting in your right hand. But guess what? They're both holding the exact same thing. But, it's like, Coke versus Pepsi. Well, guess what? They both taste different and they're both going to give you diabetes if you drink too much of it.
So pretty
So
much they
how about
both
we look
shit
at
the
the,
bed.
yes, well, stop looking at the root of the evil and let's find the fix for it. And that is the biggest problem that I have with immigration across the board. All right. We don't ever want to look at how to properly fix it. How do we do it in the way that is viable to our country, that is viable to people trying to come in here in a way that benefits both? It's only here to benefit society. So why are we not focusing on that? We only focus on the little man. We're not making it make it so hard for any immigrant to get a fucking job without having a registered tax ID, period.
Yeah. I
Make
mean,
it if
there's one option.
if there's no money, you're not going to stay. You cannot find a job because your boss is going to get fined and his ass is going to get thrown in the slammer. They're not going to hire you unless you've got X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z is right here. We'll put it on the internet. We'll put it all over the place. It's so easy to figure out how to do. If you're not willing to do that, you can't get a job. You can't feed yourself and your family. You're going to leave. Take the incentive away. Take the carrot away from the horse. It ain't going to walk,
But then,
you know?
so you do that, but then you follow the risk of having an influx of illegal doings like drug dealing and stuff like that. If people can't find a regular 9 to 5, then they're going to find a way to make money. So the hustle then becomes the thing.
But that's always out there, right? That's going to be there regardless.
Right, right. But I'm just saying, if you take away that opportunity from illegal, or yeah, we'll just call them illegal immigrants because that's what they are. I'm not even
But
gonna.
well, that's what you would be in that situation. You would be purely an illegal immigrant in the most raw form. But not what I'm saying is you're not taking that away. What I'm saying is we're taking away the ability for the company to hire illegals. Go after the source.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So if you're, any Tom, Dick, and Harry that's looking to hire somebody does not have a way to hire somebody and pay their fair share of the taxes on top of it, then no one's going to have money. Even your leaders, what are they going to do? The only way they're going to get money if they can't get a job. Sure, you can sell drugs, but somebody somewhere has to be paying somewhere to get those drugs. It's all coming from something. Even what it takes to make, crack, you gotta buy shit. You gotta buy product, right? And someone's paying to do that. So there's someone doing work here to get to this, to get to this, to get to that. If you're removing those barriers, it's at least going to be a hell of a lot harder. You're going to have to be way more creative to break the law. And again, then it goes back to good. Then we can focus all of our efforts on the ones that are only breaking the law and not worry about all the others. Because that means the only way they're here sustained in life is because they have a legal job, because there is no way to get one that's not fully illegal. And that's where we put our money.
So
Burn out the ones that are vicious criminals.
how do we get Miss Nancy of 30 years at the textile company on a fast track to citizenship with not having any ability to speak any English? How do you do that?
Okay, you go into the textile company and ICE auditor says, you guys have 30 days to fill out X amount of paperwork that we're going to give you to process every illegal you have in here. And this is going to be the process they're going to go through. And part of what you're going to do is you're going to make basic English and American history available to these people.
Yeah, if
That
you're
could
going
be
to
it could
hire
be
if
via
you're
the
gonna hire
internet. It can
immigrants,
be
which that's all it would be. It would be online immigrant classes.
it doesn't have to be difficult. It's all for every lunch, every day at lunch hour, which you're probably not giving them now anyway. You're gonna have a basic English class. There are many ways to skin this cat without using the boot, right?
Right. Or
And I
you
think
could
that's the
even
problem.
give everybody a subscription to Duolingo or
Some
what's
bullshit
the
like
other
that,
one?
yeah.
Yeah, one of those apps.
But you think again, the key is you're going now them, and what you're doing is you're forcing the businesses that have the money to put or utilize the process for these people to then become citizens, and you force them to pay into it immediately. So then everything is going into the tax coffers from the second they become part of this. Does it increase the prices for some of these companies? Yes, it does. It is like a tariff, but the people you're hiring should have been in that process or in that state from the get-go. So you should never technically even have been in this state. It should not be an issue you have. You're breaking the law. So either we fine you this huge amount or you go hire or give your HR rep a new job. And part of that job is processing these people to become viable citizens. And the government puts the steps in on there. We're removing waste. So we're going to have people that can handle this shit. There's none that says we don't, we can reappropriate 100,000 government workers and all their job is to go around and audit companies to make sure that they're doing the shit properly and make sure that they have a program set up
Just make
to
sure they
make,
have their
to
documents in line.
it's not difficult. And again, so then the beauty of this though, Mike, is right. If you do something like that, you're taking the responsibility to become a citizen and you're now literally putting it in the hands of the person who wants to become a citizen. If, lady of 30 years now finds this out and she says, no, no, no,
No bueno.
okay.
I
Well,
go
guess
home.
what? Yeah, may they do a 30-day check-in as part of the process for this, right? Because they have to be doing stuff. And if she's not making the process for that, well, then guess what? You're saying to me, you don't really want to be here. You don't really want to be a citizen. Now we boot your ass out. We gave you we're giving you every possible chance to do it. We're not gonna ding the company for keeping you around because you're not supposed to be here. We're gonna kick your ass back over whatever border you came from, and it's your own fault. The key is we're getting rid of a lot of people that it's not their fault. That's where I really have the issue with. They're situational. Those of us that were born into the ability to go to school, have one or two stable parents and go through all that stuff and make something of ourselves. We had that, but we didn't all have that. There's more than enough stories out there of stable Americans, even rich people that go into squalor and drugs and all that, and the exact opposite, the ones that come from the streets and they work their ass off and they become CEOs of multi-billion-dollar companies. So
Yeah.
is it that hard? I mean, dude, what I don't get the most is for politicians. You're given a chance to build another demographic of people that will vote for you for the next 30 fucking years or more.
Yeah.
They
And
will love you if you give them.
neither
Again, it's
side has
yes,
done enough to launch that.
no, no,
And they
no.
and
It's
they
why
and they
is
think the winning target now is going to be marijuana legalization. No.
there's no money in proper immigration, and that's where the real problem is.
But there
We
is
have an
if you
answer
want
for
the
this.
votes. You want the votes.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a big thing being pushed right now. Potential executive order where, and I'm not going to go into that, but it will fly right into the same topic real quick because I don't want to go into it anymore. But again, it talks about every person who votes must have a proper voter ID card. You know what? I agree. You should. I think I saw you roll your eyes. I don't know. Maybe not. I know what you're thinking. But
No, no,
again,
no, 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 no.
if
I
you
rolled
walk
my
in, if
eyes
you walk in,
because of
it doesn't
the
exist. Or
onslaught of lefties that are
oh
fighting against this. I've had to do it in Ohio forever. It's no big deal.
yeah. If you're going in to vote, all it says is prove who you are. Is it that difficult? If you don't have some way to say who you are, then no, you should not be able to vote for shit. I'm sorry. It goes along with that. You want to vote in your local municipality that you're now going to be paying taxes into, go through the steps, go through the processes. Here's how you do it. And you're paying your money into the system. You should be able to have that choice. You should have that voice. because now you have a skin in the game, and that's all we're doing is giving the people the chance to be
The
part of the country.
Right, the
And I don't
only
know
thing
why.
we have in Ohio is you just have to have a valid, current, non-expired Ohio or driver's license, but it has to be of your current residential address. That's it. And you just show it to them, they scan it on the little iPod or iPad, and
Okay,
then you
but you have
sign
something.
you sign your name. Yeah, we have it in line, and I think it's great, and it's so
If you're
smooth.
18, yeah, if you're 18, you should have one of those. Oh, no, driver's license, but you have an ID.
You
You're
have to
gonna
get
have an
a
ID.
you gotta have an ID. Got to.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if you're too lazy to do that, then you shouldn't be voting anyway because you obviously don't give a shit.
Oh, you're nuts.
But damn right, which is, you know what? That's gonna go. I just thought of it. Put it in the post. Yes, this is gonna be a phone. I got another one. This is a phone, and it goes. Ben, it's gonna go right along with giving a shit, and especially with the younger generation, and even some of our latchkey fuck you generation. We still have a little bit of that. But I don't want to go into that. I don't want to go into that. It's we're running up on 49 minutes here, Mike. This has been a good, fun conversation. I think we started off, our arguments were pretty slim on both sides, but then we kind of got into the talking of it and we really broke this down a bit more. I don't think we pushed one side over the other
No,
anymore.
no.
Then that, because again, this is like I like to say, there's two sides to a coin. You have to look at both sides. There are two pieces of bread, right? If you're gonna put peanut butter on one side and jelly on the other, you gotta put it on both and put them together. You gotta fix the issue and look at it
Um,
from multiple angles, or you're never gonna fix it. We can't just kick the can for anything down the road without trying to figure out how to fix it. That's not how businesses run their company. You have a problem? Oh, we just had a big virus attack. What do? We're gonna
you
get
don't just
everybody new
purge, you
computers.
just don't, yeah, you just don't purge all your computers. You hire the tech to
Right.
come in, find the
Yes.
virus, pull it out, reprogram the stuff,
Yes.
and ease it on
And
out.
what do we have to do to make sure it doesn't happen again? You adapt, you move forward, and that is one of the things that this country is having a hard problem doing. We do not want to adapt to the new day and age to make sure that we continue to move forward and be the greatest country in the world. I think we're going to continue to be the greatest for a long time, but we can shit the bed at any given point, just like anybody else.
But yeah,
Um,
that
the
that
Roman Empire ruled it forever,
oh yeah, come with that.
you
But
know, but it ended.
but yeah, as far as the immigration goes, it's not a bad thing what they're doing, but it's heartbreaking. But does it need to be done? Maybe. Should it be done differently? We both agree, absolutely. There's a better way.
100%, Michael.
There's
You
a
hit
better
it.
way.
Is it a you're 1000%. Is it a bad thing? Not necessarily. Is it being done right? Fuck no. But hey, I like my life too much to get into politics. I don't have enough money to run anyway, so it wouldn't go very well because it would be
I don't
fun
have
to
a
see
filter.
NPR. Oh, it would be fun to see NPR. This man has been grandstanding for 36 hours saying nothing but F bombs. No point has ever
We
been made, but
well,
he refuses to leave the podium. His pants are down, by
Joe,
the way.
in today's day and age, you'd probably get voted in.
Mike, and everybody out there, if you've never seen the movie Idiocracy, we're so close to it. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
Everybody wears Crocs, just like they did back then. Hey, but listen, I'm not going to let this
Shit.
dwell on. We got to end it. We got to end it because nobody wants to listen to us ramble any longer than this. So listen, next topic is going to be way more lighthearted. It's going
Okay.
to be more lighthearted in the topic we discuss, but there's going to be some pissed off people. It
Oh,
might be
yay.
you, Mike. It might be me, but we're going to touch on a couple things that I think are, shall we say, touchy subjects
Yeah.
that are close to the chest. All right. But it is something that every single person will be able to relate to. I promise you that. If you don't watch the news, it will make a difference. As long as you leave your house and or have watched TV in the last 30 years, there will be something on our next topic that'll make you stand up and want to smack one of us. All right. Listen, Mike, anything you got to say?
Peace out.
All right. We'll catch you all next week. Mike, love you. Keep it real.
Love you.
Have a good night.
Later.